birthday, but it feels like my birthday because this guy right here has been trying to find a birth year guitar, a guitar manufactured in the year that I was born. And would you believe it? I have finally, after literally 2 years of buying and selling guitars, have got myself a 1971 Fender Stratocaster, and I'm so stoked to open this box. Come along with me. All right, here we go. Out of the box. This is what you want to see. Looks like the original case, I'm guessing. Looks like a 70s case. It's got the raised Fender logo on it. Oh, man. I haven't opened it yet. Here we go. First time together, guys.
Let's take a look. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous.
Whoa. I love it. We get a little fabric packing on it. Oh, dude, it's so lightweight. Oh, you know, some of these 70 Stratocasters could get insanely heavy. I mean, even 12 pounds some of these will come in at. But the 71s are supposed to be, they're earlier. They're supposed to be a little bit better made, a little bit better tolerance qualities, all that kind of stuff. And this is a pretty damn light one. Holy good night. Oh, look at that. So this, my friends, is actually a pretty special 1971 guitar. You see, not only is this a 3-bolt guitar, this is one of the earliest 3-bolt guitars ever made. This neck is dated in July of 71, and most people think that they started in like October, but you can actually find them in September and August and even in July. So as far as I know, this could be one of the earliest ones done. So it's very cool, and to get a transition year guitar is a lot harder to find sometimes than, say, a 72. I could have found a lot of 72s, but damn it, I was born a year earlier, so I had to find a 71, of course. The things that make a 1971 interesting and a little different than the later 70s, although 72 and 71 are super close. Things start to change a little bit. There's different stamps that show up as you get later into 72, into 73, and 74. But one of the main things in an early 3-bolt is it has one string tree. That's pretty much all it ever has. This went all the way into 72 where they had just the one string tree. And then later in 72, they went up with 2 string trees in there. Another thing you want to look for is in all of these 70s Fenders with the big headstocks, the headstocks are actually painted in nitrocellulose lacquer. So if you look at the side, you can see that it's a little bit darker along the side here. And the rest of the neck is finished in like a polyurethane. Well, the reason for that is that the polyurethane would have melted and messed with the original decal that was there. So they had to go nitro only on the face of the headstock. So that's pretty interesting too. What else? In a 71, maybe a little bit into 72, but not much. But really in 71 and earlier, you still have the Fender patent bending stamped saddles, right? You got those, and you also have a steel block 3-bolt where you can take the plate off still underneath there, which later they turned to the cast block as you get into 72 and late 71. So that's great that it has those things as well. Of course, I thoroughly checked this one out. I talked to a lot of experts on it and all that kind of stuff. The neck date on this one is actually super special. As I said, it's a July guitar. That's pretty amazing. Also, in the 70s guitars, the early ones, you get better contouring. So the sanding here is just a little bit sexier. It's a little bit deeper. When I had my 1979 Stratocaster, that's actually the one thing I didn't like about it. I adored that guitar. It was a hardtail and it played fantastically, but it didn't quite have the generous contours that you see in these early ones. And you feel it after a while up on those rib cage, man. If I want a Telecaster, I'll get a Telecaster. Everything checks out on this guitar. It's got the 3-way switch, which is what they had up until I think 77. It has pots that are dated from 1971, and even the pickups are dated to 1971, and they are dated to July, which reminds me, that's another thing about these 71s. If you look at it, it still has raised pole pickups on there, which is great. That's what you want to see too. As they got into the later 70s, the poles were flat across the surface of the pickup. So we've got properly dated pots, properly dated pickups, properly dated neck, single string tree. We have the single patent number, which is also on those early 71s. We got an early serial number. This, my friends, is a really cool, super early 1971 3-bolt Stratocaster, and I'm stoked to have it. Let's check it out. All right, guys, we're gonna just look a little bit deeper into this one. Okay, let's take a little looky-loo. Gonna go ahead and check it out, because Like I say, when's the next time I'm going to look under here? Probably not in a long time, unless there's some issue that I have to deal with. So cool, this is exactly what you want to see. I like that the finish is a little bit lighter underneath. It's not as yellowed from oxidation. This is really great. I love this finish. It has that light, crackly along the surface that I love seeing on these old guitars, but it's not too extreme. It's just perfect. All right, so then also in the 70s guitars, you want to look for these pickup routes. You see how they're a little bit more squared off? They're not quite as like smooth on the outsides. That's indicative of the early 70s guitars for sure. Also, I often see this, which is the router didn't clean out the very center of these holes, and that's what we're seeing here as well. I love seeing all the old polishing compound. The pickguard, super cool. It's got like the original little, I don't know what that was, some kind of control signatures. There's one there in yellow and there's one there in black. The pickups are exactly what you hope to see in this. The number is 8311. So that's operator number 8. That's who built this. So the 31st week of the year. And then 1 is for 1971. So that's great. And that's perfect. So the 31st week, I believe, is like the last week of July, the first week of August. It, it depends on what year it was. It changes every year, I guess. But on the pots are looking correct too. We've got the orange little flat pancake, a capacitor or whatever on there. And then we got CTS pots that have the correct number for all Fender Stratocasters. If you look, there's a long serial number, and you do want to see that. And on the year, it says 7112, which I believe is 1971 and the 12th week of 1971. So that's all looking great. The other thing I see on a lot of these, if they haven't been messed with that much, is that there's a little bit of extra white fuzzy stuff, some kind of light corrosion, polishing compound. I'm not sure what that stuff is, but that's hanging out in there too. It all checks out, folks. Pretty stoked about this. So let's just hope all that stuff works. Let's button it up. Probably last time this is going to be open for a very long time. So before we string this thing up, why don't we go ahead and take a little peek at the neck. Some necks had full written out months on them. So if it was a July guitar, which is what this is, it would say 22, which stands for Stratocaster, and then it would say JUL for July, and then it would say 71 and then B. So what makes this one a little bit more interesting is that they actually went with a number instead of spelling out July. But this is what you want to see. You want to see the green ink. It's got the letter B there. It's got the 22. And according to the guys who've been around a lot longer than I am, indeed, this is the way they did stamp some Stratocasters for sure. So pretty interesting. It could make this a pretty unique and very early 3-bolt, because you got to figure this is July. They were really testing things out still. They were trying to figure out how were they going to put in this little plate that's going to have the micro tilt. A bunch of things were still happening. But, things you definitely want to look for. You want to look for that little hole right there, which was for the routing jig, I believe. And, yeah, this thing looks beautiful. Look, there's like no marking on the back of the neck. We got our stamped F tuners. As we said, the nitro, little bit darker face of the headstock. Everything looks fantastic, guys. So let's take a look at the neck pocket as well. And that is what you want to see in the neck pocket. What we have there is we got a series of stamps. So a light red one in the back that I don't quite know what it says. It's like the letter C, DC. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. T chambers, which you often see stamped on these bodies. F pinna, also stamped on this body. And there's some other stuff going on. I see an RT. Whatever, but that's what you want to see. You want to see those sorts of stamps. You want to see this, like these two holes here from when they did the painting of it, and this was the paint stick that was covering it up. Everything looks fantastic, guys, as advertised. I'm thrilled with this thing so far. We'll have to see how it plays, of course. Man, that's cool. One more thing I want to check out is underneath the Tremolo cover, because it's actually the one area of the guitar that I have not seen. I had high reses of everything on this thing in order to make my decision to purchase it, but I didn't get underneath here, so let's take a look. All right, guys, let's take a little peek under here and see what I haven't seen yet. Damn, that's a lot of springs, man. They didn't want that tremolo to go anywhere. Guys, it's crazy. It looks brand new. This thing is in such fantastic condition. I can't even get over it. It's great. I see the polishing compound inside of there. This block looks brand new, dudes, and this is what you want to see on a 69, 70, 71 Strat. See how the corners are kind of squared off or angled a little bit? It's not completely round. I've definitely seen that on other blocks from this era. So once again, looks totally legit. Only thing left to do is to get it all together and string it up and pray that it plays. All right, guys. Sweet. So what else did we get? We got a couple surprises with this sweet badass old guitar. Got a little baggie here, a little case candy. Number one, looks like an original. I'm guessing, I don't know my straps that well, but looks like an original Fender Strap. Got the little buckle and everything. We got the original bar, aged yellow, just like we want to see. Super cool. That's exciting. And we got some papers. So what do we got in here? So we got receipts for guitar lessons. So whoever had it took guitar lessons. We got a black diamond string. You gotta like that. Got a couple more guitar lessons receipts. Not bad. $4 for a lesson, $8 for a lesson. You gotta like it. Be fun to kind of look up who this person was and see if I can figure out if they still give lessons. These lessons were given in 1976. So there you go. I'm actually the third owner of this guitar as I understand it. Then we have some faded out customer receipts. Austin City Music, Austin, Texas. We got strings. Very cool. And there it is, guys. Austin City Music. I know this guitar came out of Texas, so it all makes sense. It all adds up. There we have it. Just a sweet 71 Stratocaster who, you know, I'm just thrilled to have.